With each year, smartphone companies have raised the prices of their premium flagship smartphones over and over. $1,000 now seems to be a standard price for a flagship smartphone. These are my picks for the top 10 most overpriced smartphones ever. This list is based on smartphones that were aimed for regular consumers, not rare and modified smartphones like Vertu or gold iPhones. In 2019, for the first time Samsung launched two new Note smartphones, the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. While the Note 10 Plus is the successor of a very successful Note series that were always for the power users, the Note 10 was released as a smartphone for people who want an S Pen but didn't want a giant screen. The Note 10 included most of the features that were found on the Note 10 Plus, but it also had a lot of shortcomings. First of all, it only has a 1080p screen. Also, the battery is significantly lower compared to the Note 10 Plus, and it also misses the depth camera and the micro SD card slot. This doesn't mean that the Note 10 is a bad device. In contrast, it is a very good smartphone, but the starting price of $950 is very expensive. It should have been priced at $800 to $850. Xiaomi were always known as a company that offers premium flagship smartphones for a lower price than the competition. That until they launched their 2020 flagship smartphone, the Mi 10 Pro, for €1,000. Just like the Galaxy Note 10, the Mi 10 Pro is also a very good device that offers great hardware, great cameras, great performance and battery life. But the display is only 1080p, and even though it is a 90Hz panel, we would have loved to see a Quad HD screen. It also misses an IP rating, feature that I think every flagship should have, and on the front it only can shoot videos at 1080p at 30 frames per second. We were very excited when the Essential phone first launched. In paper it had everything essential on a smartphone: great design, powerful processor, dual cameras, stereo speakers, large battery and fast charging. But the Essential was far from perfect. First of all, it missed a lot of features like an IP rating, wireless charging and the headphone jack. Also, the dual cameras found on this phone were very bad, and the modular system was far from ready. It quickly had a lot of price drops, but for the starting price of $700 it totally wasn't worth it. Apple's first attempt for a cheaper iPhone was the iPhone 5C, released in 2013 for $550. If you spend $550 today, you would get a flagship of last year or a mid-range phone of this year. But with the prices of smartphones in 2013, with that money you would get any phone you wanted. The 5C had the iPhone 5 internals in a plastic body. It was only $100 cheaper than the more premium iPhone 5S, which had a better design, better performance and better cameras. Not to mention it was the first iPhone to have Touch ID. The iPhone 5C should have started at $400. OPPO Find X2 Pro is an incredible device. It has a premium build quality, powerful processor, amazing display, amazing cameras and good battery life. It has also a lot of features like fast charging, wireless charging and water and dust resistance. The problem here is their brand. Almost no one would pass the much more popular iPhone 11 Pro Max or the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus to get this phone for the same price. They easily could have priced this phone at $900 and generate more sales. Just look at OnePlus. Their flagship phone, the 8 Pro, offers almost identical specs for $900. Samsung's most premium smartphone is also their biggest disappointment of 2020. On paper, the S20 Ultra has incredible camera specs like the 108 megapixel camera, the 100x space zoom, and the 8K video recording, but in reality, they are all disappointing. The 108 megapixels main camera has a lot of issues with focus and dynamic range. The telephoto camera has only 4x optical zoom, and if you zoom up to 100x it is unusable, and the 8K video recording is far from ready. Everything else on this phone is very good, but when its most hyped feature fails, then you shouldn't buy it. If the camera was as good as it was hyped, maybe it would have justified the price, but in this condition, you definitely shouldn't buy it even for $1,200. You should go for the S20 Plus, it has a much better camera. The Huawei P40 Pro is one of the best devices of 2020 so far, with its main feature of course being the camera. It has a quad camera setup, and one of the cameras is a 5x optical zoom lens. The P40 Pro Plus bumps it up to 10x optical zoom, and it comes with 5 cameras in total. It has also a ceramic back instead of the frosted glass found on the P40 Pro. These are the only differences with the regular P40 Pro, and yet it costs €400 more. For €1,400 you can't access Google Apps, you only have a mono speaker, not to mention that huge punch hole camera on the front. This phone should have been priced at €1,100 max. In 2019, Motorola announced their first foldable phone, the revived Moto Razr. We had high hopes for this phone, but it turned out to be a phone with a lot of problems. It came with a mid-range chipset, small battery capacity and a terrible camera, all of that for $1,500. In contrast, its biggest competitor, the Z Flip, has a better design, better display, faster processor, better cameras and a larger battery capacity, and it even costs $100 less compared to the Razr. If that wasn't enough, many people started reporting that the hinge on this phone has a lot of problems. I wouldn't recommend this device even if it was priced under $1,000, only if you are a true Razr fan. Red is a company known for their amazing cameras, and when they announced the Hydrogen one, everyone was excited. In the promo materials, it had a different design from any other smartphone to date, with a focus on cameras and a 3D display. After many delays, when this device finally launched, it was a disaster. The much hyped cameras were very bad, and the 3D display was painful to watch. It also came with an outdated processor, and all of this for nearly $1,300. Not everything was bad, however. This phone had an outstanding battery life, but for that kind of money you need to have everything. The first phone from Amazon is also their last because of how bad it was. First of all, it had a terrible user interface. Also, the design was very boring, the display and the cameras were also not that great. Amazon had high hopes that this phone not only will sell well, but will help them generate more sales. It was seen by them as a store, and people would use this phone to buy more products. The strategy turned out to be a failure, and till today, the Fire phone is the worst smartphone ever. They launched this phone with a price tag of $650. If you did enjoy this video, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Thank you for watching.